The House of Representatives has decried President Muhammadu Buhari's refusal to assent to the recent Amendment Electoral Act. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, says majority two-thirds votes will be needed to veto the Electoral Act. Coming up under matters of personal explanation, Honorable Ben Ibakba from Delta State expressed concern over the delay by the President to assent to the Act, noting that the amended legislation was meant to address the loopholes in the existing Act.
Mr. Speaker, Nigerians are crying for good leadership. And the leadership recruitment process starts with our primaries. You have worked hard, sir, and there is nowhere. That is why I took us to Section 58. We are to make laws and present to Mr. President. And where he does not sign, that same 58, 4 or 5 or so, give us the powers to make sure that we pass that law without Mr. President's assent. Mr. Speaker, there's no way in the Constitution, I managed to go through, I'm not a lawyer, but there's no way that said that one arm of government is subservient to the other. I think we are beginning with the good work that you are doing, Mr. Speaker. I just said you are a very good man, a wonderful man with your leadership. But by the time you leave this seat, by June next year, Mr. Speaker, Nigerians will not remember the good that you have done for me as a person, for the one you have done for our colleagues. They will remember you by the laws that you passed that are better the laws of Nigerians. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to act as if we are under the executive arm of government. This Constitution gave us the powers, just like it gave to them. We must wake up as a parliament where we pass our laws and we are sure that we have done the right thing. We should start overriding Mr. President.
During his weight behind the debate, Deputy Minority Leader Toby Okechukwu from Enugu State stressed the need for a thorough reform as the existing act is the same as the 2010 Electoral Act.
I also want to take notice regarding the very copious and auspicious comments you made yesterday regarding the Electoral Act, where in circumstances it has been weaponized, where, as a matter of fact, there was an aspiration to make the law a more perfect law, to remove every ambiguity, and where there isn't any material difference between the 2010 Act and that of 2022. And suddenly, majority of members, where it has been weaponized, have become victims. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, something is wrong in an environment, in an institution, where the two leaders of the Senate would have to cross to other parties because of an inherent inclement condition.
Responding to the lawmakers, the Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, asked that the motion be formally presented on the floor to enable the House start the process of overriding the President.
Clearly, the Constitution says you have there's 30 days leeway, and we have since gone beyond the 30 days. But the Constitution also says it's not automatic that you override. It's if you are convinced as a House that that amendment must stand. If you are not convinced with the arguments advanced by the President, or in some cases, in this case, there is really no argument advanced, then you can override. But for us to override, I believe we require two-thirds majority. And it cannot be by voice vote, neither can it be by way of signatures, unless, of course, you have enough two-thirds by signature. So what I would suggest is that you bring the application, a formal motion or notice, so perhaps tomorrow or whenever you are able to do that, and then we'll determine whether or not this House is ready to override or not. I think that's the way to go. That's the proper procedure. And I appreciate your comments. And I believe you're talking about the provision on statutory delegates, which Honorable Toby alluded to earlier.
Still on election matters, the House has also called on INEC to extend the continuous voters registration exercise for another 60 days. Annie Theopatrick, Core TV News, Abuja.